about that other than trying to help people who are in a state of invasion. Well, welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. This is episode 816 of the Immigration Answer Show. Today is Tuesday, April 22nd, and it's a soccer day. Nora's got a game today, so I'll be heading out later for a little soccer action against Parkway Central. Looking forward to that. How's everybody doing? Happy Tuesday. How's your week going so far? Anyone having tacos tonight for dinner? Do you know who's having tacos tonight for dinner? Me. Because it's Taco Tuesday. I just got back from Washington, D.C. I had an amazing flight to Washington, D.C. It was actually hard to believe. Usually when I go on Southwest, I'm A1, and I usually get my favorite seat, which is the one right by the emergency row exit, so I can stretch out my legs. But I had to move my flight to earlier in the day, so I ended up A2, and I ended up across the way, still in the emergency exit. So I got a little extra room, and a very nice lady sat next to me. She was African-American. She grew up in St. Louis and moved to Washington, D.C. She's got 2 kids. And I swear to God, I never, ever talked to anybody on the plane. And we talked the entire 2-hour flight, hour and 45-minute flight. We did not stop talking. She was coming through St. Louis from Minneapolis. She had gone to the Kendrick Lamar concert. She was celebrating her 60th birthday. She was a big Prince fan. And we had a great talk about race and religion and Trump and racism and St. Louis being racist, what it's like in D.C. We just had a great, great talk. It's not a talk that I'll forget. We exchanged numbers and have been texting each other. So I have a new friend in Washington, D.C. that made me really excited. But she pressed me some on racism, and even the good white people can hear themselves in their head using the N-word or just having racist thoughts, and that's true. That is true. And so she wanted to know, why do white people hate us? Why do white people hate me? It was really something. She was crying. We both cried a couple times during the talk. She raised some issues, and I raised some issues, and I told her about what happened to me when I was a kid and all that good stuff. And we talked about trauma. We talked about this great book, The Body Keeps the Score, which if you've been through trauma, I highly recommend. It's not an easy book to read, but it's good. So we had a really nice talk, and now I have a friend in DC. She wants to meet Amani next time we come up, so we'll see. And like I said, I never talked to anybody on the plane except maybe people that recognize me from the show, and that's just for a second. We talked the whole time. And then I got home, and there's a guy who picks us up at the airport, and he and I have become sort of friends, and he was telling me about some trauma he was having back in 2017, 2018. And I just think people are really struggling right now. I think people are suffering. And I think I know why. I think there's just this anger in America right now. It's just a whole lot of hating the other, trying to put people down, trying to crush people. It's a sad, sad state of affairs. And I think we'll get through it. And I think things will get better. But man, I'm not that optimistic for my kids, and that makes me sad. It's they're in a very different world than the world I grew up in the 80s, when all we had to worry about was the Russians dropping a big bomb on our head. All right, so enough of that ranting and raving. I want to know how you guys are. Let us know in the comments what's up, and we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to talk to Wonder Woman, Joe, Eliza, and then BB, but BB's got to turn off her camera. All right, Wonder Woman, you're up.
Hi, Jim. Thank you so much for all you do. A long time listener, first time caller. What you do, what you do is amazing. We don't take you for granted. We appreciate you. So my question is going to be pretty quick. My mom, she came in February, the beginning of February, and she's going to be here till the first week of June. So she's going to be going back. I don't know. Does she need to sign up for that alien registration or not?
She's on a visa?
Yes, a B1, B2.
Yeah, no, people with visas don't have to register.
Oh, okay, awesome, awesome. I just wanted to ensure she's not breaking any laws. You know how it is right now. All
Yep.
right, that's it. It was just
Thanks,
a quick
Wonder Woman.
question. I
Have a great
appreciate
day.
you. You as
Stay
well.
in
Thanks.
touch. Yeah.
You as
Yep.
well. Bye.
All right. All right. That was, what's Wonder Woman's name? Diana Prince. Diana. That was our own Diana, Wonder Woman herself. Wonder Woman would have been an immigrant, right? Isn't she from the Amazonian forest? I liked the first Wonder Woman movie. I didn't watch the 1980s one. Did anybody watch that one? I probably would have liked it because I like all those 80s kitschy references, but I did not see that one. It got really bad reviews. Joe, hello.
Hi, Jim. Thank you very much.
How you doing?
Doing good. How about you?
I'm great.
You're welcome back from your trip, and thank you for all you do here.
Of course. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine is a kind of perhaps a complicated situation, but I will just
Okay.
quickly go through it for you to understand. Now,
Great.
I'm on F2, valid status. Now, I filed an I-140 for EB1A sometimes in December. So I got an RFE, which I responded to. I felt it was going to be a walkover, but lately I got another RFE, and this time around it boils down to a potential adverse information. I need to mention to you that I had an arrest late last year. Basically, I was camped, and I went there to try and I bought a car from a dealership who refused to give me my title. So I went back there to ask for the title. They asked me to leave. I told them I wasn't going to leave until they give me my title. And they got me arrested. And so few days before the second RFE, I received the notice from the court that I've been charged for assault and disturbance of peace, which I'm not guilty of, but it's a pending case in court. Now, my question is, USCIS is asking me to provide my address to come for a biometrics due to the potential the adverse information discovered, which I think is the pending criminal cases. Now, my concern is, given this situation, is it a wise thing to do to go for biometrics? Are there chances that I can scale through this process? I mean, getting an approval of my I-140. And lastly, can going for biometrics result into other issues, looking at the current climate of things in the country? Thank you.
So to be clear, the 45 is not on file, just the I-140.
Yeah, I-140 is.
And are you telling me that based on the request for evidence, that the second request for evidence that you received, that you think you have satisfied all the prongs of the EB1A?
I believe so, because the first time I submitted, I petitioned for 6 criteria. 2 were approved, remaining 1. So I made enough justification for the other 4. I'm certain that, because basically the reason they declined those 4 initially was not because there was no evidence. It's because they felt I did not structure my documentation well, which I did.
Yeah. Okay. So, but usually when you get a second request for evidence and they're not talking about anything in the first one, usually that means that they've gotten past whatever the issue was they were raising in the first one, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you're past that. So now it would really, really suck to get denied because of this criminal incident. So what's the status of the criminal case?
It's pending hearing. I'm working with some lawyers who are planning to see what they could do, probably to go for it, negotiate a dismissal or something. But it's still pending till June. The hearing is for June, but my lawyer says he's working on it.
So, do they know of your immigration status?
Yes, they do.
Do they know that you received this request for evidence?
No, I didn't. We have not discussed about that. They basically told me to try and reach out to immigration attorney, since that is not their area.
Right. But here's the thing. Okay, so in my humble experience dealing with criminal defense attorneys who are not immigration lawyers, right, or who are not really up to speed on immigration, in my experience, like most people, most people like to do as little work as possible, right?
Okay.
So for 99 out of 100 people who have a charge like you, having your court date in June or July is not a big deal, right?
Okay.
But for you, it could be everything. It could be the difference between you getting a green card and not, right? And
Yeah.
so I sort of get pissed off at these criminal defense attorneys who just sort of go through the motions and treat you as if you were a citizen and just deal with it as it comes. But that's not what you want or what you need.
Yeah.
And you might need to pay some extra money, but like what I would do if I were you is I would hire the most expensive, best criminal defense attorney where your charges are pending, the one with the most experience.
Okay.
And say, hey, I got an RFE. I need this criminal case to go away and I need it dismissed because this is fucking up my green card. And I need it done. When's your RFE due?
Early July, I think on the 4th of July.
Yeah. So I would say, I need you in the next 45 days to make this case go away. I need to get it resolved. If I don't get it resolved, I won't have. And are they asking you for the dispositions, or are they just asking you to get your fingerprints done by July?
They are asking me to provide my address. By the way, I have not changed my address. They asked me to provide my address so they can schedule me for biometrics.
Isn't that the dumbest thing you ever heard? Of course, they know your address.
Yeah, that's my concern.
Well, that's okay. That's okay though, because that might give you a chance to get it. I mean, if your court date's in June and your RFE deadline is July, then I would be either standing on the head of the criminal defense attorney that you have, or doing what I said, which is hiring the most expensive, best criminal defense lawyer. You need the criminal defense lawyer who knows the prosecutors the best, who can cut you a deal. I mean, I've known prosecutors when they hear that somebody's got this bullshit traffic charge or bullshit criminal charge and it's going to keep them from getting their green card. I've seen prosecutors just flat out dismiss. And I think that's what you want to have happen, or do your best to try to have happen.
Yeah.
So I would want to get it all resolved, then give them my fingerprint address. As far as your concern about whether bad stuff can happen at biometrics, I mean, they know where you are, even though they're asking you for your address. I wouldn't worry about that so much. I wouldn't be worried about the biometrics. That's the least of your concerns. The biggest thing for you is just to get rid of the case.
Okay. So, pending that, you advise I should stay in responding to the RFE if I can buy enough time, right?
Yeah, but I would do that like 5 days before it's due. I wouldn't be in any hurry to do that.
Absolutely, I get you.
All right, good luck, Joe.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
You got it. Hey, everybody, our friend Carolina's here. Hola, Carol. Hola. She's working at home today because on Tuesdays we work from home. That wasn't Joe, right? This is Joe. Joe, you there?
Yeah, man, okay. I need to leave, right?
Oh, it's still Joe. Sorry. Yep. Thanks, Joe. All right. We'll go to Eliza, then BB, then MI, then Mo. But, there's our friend Mo. Mo's here. Hi, Eliza.
Hi, good afternoon already.
How are you doing?
Good afternoon. So, me and my husband from Nigeria got married in 2016, and we've submitted an I-130. So far, right now, we're in the visa national part. We got an okay from Homeland. So now the National Visa Center is asking for a high court divorce form. Yep. So basically, I wanted to see what next steps are in regards to that. I wanted to see if we submitted an affidavit, just to support because what we submitted was the customary court divorce. So basically the National Visa did it once, now a high court divorce form. So I wanted to see what next steps are for that.
So your spouse has been married before, right?
Yes, we got married and then got divorced at 2016.
So have you watched this show for very long?
No.
Okay. Well, one of the things we talk about on this show all the time, like 2 or 3 times a week, is the problem with Nigerian divorce decrees. And there's a fundamental problem with Nigerian divorce decrees in that many of them are fake, and USCIS and the State Department thinks, therefore, that they're all fake. You know what I'm saying? So you need, I don't know who got your divorce for your spouse, and I assume your spouse is overseas.
Yes, he's overseas.
I don't know who got your divorce decree, but you need to hire someone who isn't that lawyer who got the divorce decree to go research whether it's legally valid, because I suspect that it's not. I suspect that this I-130, the reason the State Department is pushing back on this is because they think your husband's divorce decree is fake. Not necessarily that he did anything wrong, but just that the divorce isn't legally valid, because apparently there's these lawyers or fake lawyers in Nigeria who are making up fake divorce decrees.
So that does that mean even if I go to the high court divorce and get the form from there, they're still going to think it's...
Well, the problem with that is if you get divorced now, if he gets divorced now from his old spouse, that actually probably needs to happen. But what that means is your marriage is invalid and your I-130 is invalid, and you have to get married and start over. If I had to guess, that's what's going to have to happen. But again, that's why we want to hire a different lawyer, not involved in your husband's divorce, to go track that down and see if it's legit. Because if it's not legit, then the case falls apart and you have to start over. And you start over with a new divorce.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much.
Bye, Liza. Good luck.
Bye.
All right, let's go to BB. Hi, BB.
Hi, Jim. Thanks so much for taking my call.
Sure.
We really appreciate all the things that you do for everyone. Well, I'll just kind of start from the beginning. I lived overseas for several years, and I had a helper because of my physical condition. And since 2017,
Okay.
in 2019, he applied for a visa to go with me to the United States for a visit.
Your helper?
And yeah, my helper.
Okay.
During that time, the first time he was initially denied because the form wasn't filled out with the terminology that they needed. So he applied again within a short period of time and was granted a 10-year multi-entry B1 domestic
From which
visa
country?
from India.
Okay.
So we've been back and forth into various places, and he accompanies me because he's been helping me, and he was like 27 at the time
Okay.
that he started helping me. Since the last visit here, he married a friend of mine. They had known each other for the last 3 years during visits to the United States, and they decided they wanted to get married. There is an age difference of 40 years. She's 40 years older than he is. And they have an immigration attorney who's not been extremely involved with the case, but filing the forms and so on and so forth.
That's the easy part.
Yeah. So he did have, because she didn't list all of her assets and things, and was getting Social Security as an income, and he was not working. She didn't include her properties and things because she thought that it should be paid off and not include that. So USCIS requested an RFE for a co-sponsor, and they have a co-sponsor that made it fine. Now he was given a Social Security number card, and he's had a driver's license for the last couple of years, and it's been updated from his I-94 from last year. They married in May of last year, and his 6 months or 6 month time of being in the United States was like 90 days left. So in other words, he got married in May. They got married in May, and then in August, he should have gone back to his country with me, and he decided that he wanted to. He decided to stay and has been living with her. Once he received his work permit a couple months ago or so, he immediately found a job and has been working. They filed a joint return for this year and shows her income, and he didn't have an income. Because when we were coming back and forth from India, I've always paid him in rupees, and that's what the Border Patrol know, and that's how it's been. So their interview is scheduled for May the 29th, next month, which is coming up relatively quickly. And I showed them your mock interview, which I thought was really excellent. But I'm really
Thanks.
kind of concerned for them, only because of the vast age difference. Plus, her family does not approve and doesn't really know that they're married. His family knows that they're married, who are back in India. But of course, she hasn't spoken to his family because I don't know that maybe she might have spoken to his brother, but his mother does not speak English. And so I'm kind of concerned for them going to this interview, what could possibly happen, only because of this vast age difference. And they did open a joint account. He opened an account and she's on that account. She has her own personal account, which she's had for years. She did not change her last name because of her age and it being on all of her documents. And also the fact that she doesn't want her family to know. And so I'm just sort of frightened that when they go for this interview, I don't know that they can actually have enough other than the small joint checking account. He is on. I mean, they do live at the same address, but he's not on her house deed or title or mortgage. But they are on one car that they are on the same insurance. And I think he took out some kind of a life insurance with her as a beneficiary, and at his work, she's his beneficiary, something should happen. They had submitted photographs, some affidavits from friends, and I've known his wife for many years. And my family, of course, from the East Coast and the West Coast, have known my helper over the years as we've stayed with sister or going to my home or going to my sister's home or my brother's place. So they all know them very well, and they know that they're married. So I mean, it's a real marriage in the sense of a marriage. But I'm wondering, is there anything that they should do before this interview?
So I have some questions.
Okay.
Is the attorney going to the interview with them?
I think he is. I think he charges. I think they paid $5,000 for his fee, and I believe he charges an extra $1,000 to go with them for the interview. And I've told them that they really have to have someone go with them.
They definitely do. Did the attorney give them any estimate of what the attorney thought was the likelihood of success?
No.
Because I think the likelihood of success is under 5%.
Okay.
So did you actually lose your helper? Now he's out working for somebody else. You don't even have your helper anymore?
I don't have my helper anymore. No. I have my son who stays with me, and I've been back to India since that time because I have a home there, and I'm planning to go back again with my sister and then find someone else, a maid or someone.
How old is your friend?
My friend,
Yeah, the spouse.
his wife,
No.
she's
Yeah, your helper's wife. How old is she?
74 and he's 34.
I think it's gonna be a bloodbath. I think the case is gonna get denied. I think they're gonna do site visits. They're gonna crawl all over this couple, and this case is gonna be denied, and he's gonna be put into removal.
Okay. So I mean, when if they deny him, should he just go back?
Well, I mean, after February 28th, they said that if you get denied, they're going to include a notice to appear in immigration court. So I would imagine that he's going to get a removal invitation to removal court after the case is denied. But this case never should have been filed.
Oh wow. I mean, they really, they're together all the time. I mean,
I believe you.
I just don't, yeah, I
Believe you, but they think he's just getting married to stay in the United States, and the fact that her family doesn't vote, that's a big problem.
Yeah.
Because the first thing they're going to ask at the interview is, to the man, have you met your wife's children? I mean, I would imagine she might have children older than him, right?
Yes, and he has met her family and her granddaughter and the great grandbabies, and my friend has one daughter who's in her 50s, and he's met her and her husband. I mean, he's met her family.
He's met them. They don't know he's married. That's even worse.
Correct. Yeah.
That's even worse.
Okay.
I would rather him have never have met them than met them and not told them that he's her husband. So let's play this out. Okay, so they go to the interview and they go, Mrs. Smith, tell me the names and addresses of your kids. And I write down John Smith, Jane Smith, and Chuck Smith. And then I write down their addresses and I go, oh, hey, fraud unit, go over to John's house, knock on the door, and ask him about his mother's husband.
Oh, okay.
I've actually seen these denial notices. They're brutal. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, man. I think I would give serious thought to withdrawing this case, and I think nothing good's going to happen at that interview.
If they withdraw the case, then what would he do? He would be not in any kind of a status, would he?
He'd have to leave, and he'd not be coming back on a visit visa anymore because he's demonstrated immigrant intent by filing a 485.
Okay. So their marriage would just, in essence, be done with?
Pretty much.
Don't break her heart.
Yeah, I'm sure. But it's bizarre, and it's never going to get approved.
Okay.
Thanks, BB.
Okay, thank you so much, Jim.
Good luck. Yeah. Thanks for the call. All right, that was a tough one. I guess I need to make a video. Some cases shouldn't be filed. And I mean, what's that attorney thinking? I mean, I'm sure he put in his retainer agreement, this case is unlikely, or, we can't guarantee success. But man, I don't know. Would you guys sign up that case if you were a lawyer? I don't know. I mean, we've had age gap cases before, but this one just seems like, and we've had age gaps. I think our record is 39 years, so it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's just such a strange set of circumstances that he came to be her friend's helper. Like I thought where we were headed was that he was still her helper. If he was still her helper, I would think that they thought that she just got her friend to marry the helper so that he could stay in the United States and be her helper. We've seen that case before too. So, all right, we're gonna go to MI and then our good buddy Mo. Hello, MI.
Hey Jim, I'm doing good. How about you?
Great, man. Great. Thank you.
So I have a question for my friends Rohit and Rachel.
Rohit and Rachel, awesome.
Yep. So Rohit got to United States on a F1 student visa in January of 2021. And he met Rachel in 2023 and they got engaged in 2024. And then in December, they got engaged in Feb of 2024. And then they started planning to get married in Iowa in March 2025. But before that, they went to their Rohit's home country, that's India. They went to India in December 2024, and they had like the Indian ceremonial wedding. And then they both come back to States, and then they got married in Iowa in March 2025. And now they are planning to file for green card for Rohit, because Rachel is a US citizen, and they're planning to file an adjustment of status for Rohit. So
Wait.
my question is,
They got married back home or they got married here?
they got married in India, but that was like a ceremonial wedding. It's not like a legal wedding.
Okay.
But they got married in like Iowa in 2025.
At the courthouse.
Yeah, it was like a full wedding, like at a venue. The about 250 people were there, and Rachel's family and other friends and Rohit's friends were there. Like it was not like a courthouse wedding; it was at a venue.
Okay.
So my question is like, if they file for adjustment of status, does it count like as a misrepresentation? Because Rohit entered United States on a like student visa recently, even though he was planning to marry a US citizen.
He got so here's the thing. He got the F1 visa with good intentions. He got the F1 visa to come and go to school, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as long as he didn't lie to CBP when he came through customs, then I'm okay with this.
Yeah, like when he come through CBP didn't ask even a single question, just ask for passport and didn't even looked at I-20, just ask for passport and that's it.
Giddy up. So I would file this case. Yeah, for sure. I'm comfortable with this. I think Rohit's going to want to have an attorney and probably want to, be, if I were Rohit's attorney, I would like grill him and get him ready for the interview by sort of beating him up on everything and see how he does and getting him stronger and stronger as a person answering questions.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, like Rohit come back to States and he's like still in school, maintaining his student status, doing everything all right.
Yeah, he's doing everything he's supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're good. Rohit's good.
Yeah, I just wanted to confirm that, because they were already planning the wedding in 2024, and then he entered States in 2025 on student visa and planning to get married to a US citizen.
All right, good luck, MI. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, thank you, Jim.
Nurse Laura was hoping that MI didn't stand for his medical condition, which I think is a myocardial infarction. Is that what it is? I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I watch The Pit, which I really, really like. It really makes me sad. We just got to like the 5th episode, and it was hard to watch. And Noah Wiley wrote that episode, and he's really good. And I don't know if you know this, but I saw on Instagram that his character, Dr. Rudy, is named after a Jewish emergency room doctor who everybody loved in Pittsburgh, who was one of the poor Jewish people that got killed in the Tree of Life synagogue mass shooting. So he's actually named, oh, I got chills just thinking about it. He's actually named after that individual. His character is named after that individual, which I think is just such an awesome way to honor that guy and to stand up to the hate that we're seeing these days. I just love everything about it. And he said on the episode last night that he was Jewish. So I just think it's such a way to honor somebody, and I just think it's so creative. It's funny, I never watched DR, right? So I never watched DR, but boy, it sure is good. And I feel for our nurses and doctors for sure. I love all the silliness that happens. And Amani and I pause the show every episode with a lesson to teach to our new attorneys. There's a character on there. Her name's Dr. Mohan, and they call her Dr. Slow-Mo because she spends all this time with like 1 or 2 patients, and she's not as efficient as. I love the evil bureaucrat too that shows up to bust Noah Wiley's balls, and I love how everybody just knows she's no good. And anyway, Dr. Mohan, Dr. Slow-Mo, Noah Wiley was quizzing her on why she likes to spend so much time with one patient. It's because she's scared to make a mistake. And then a different doctor in the episode we just watched made a big mistake. And, we have a real fear around here as a law firm of making mistakes. Obviously, we got to do good work, and we want to make sure that we don't make any mistakes. Good stuff. Great show. All right, let's see our friend Mo. What's up, Mo? Oh, there he goes. Oh.
I turned off my camera.
How you doing, buddy? I hope you have good news for me. I know you've been sad and worried lately.
I have been, and I do have good news. Today, this morning, I checked my USCIS account like I always do, almost every day. And it said, we've taken action on your case, logged onto the website, and the I-130 is approved.
Nice. Great.
3 years as of last month, so 37 months.
37. Wow.
For an LPR, yeah. So now I guess they sent like sort of just a notice and said this isn't the official notice. We're gonna get it in the mail, I guess, or whatever. So I guess we move on to the NBC now. Is that right?
That's right.
My category is still not current. I'm about 2 months from being current.
Yep.
So hopefully it'll move up in the next few months.
I think
my question
you will.
Okay, that'll be great. I mean, I remember you said that the only time that it was current was during Trump, which is kind of ironic. But
Yep.
My question is: do you think the NBC will keep processing all the stuff while we wait for the visa to become current, or will they pause until it is current?
I think the reason it got approved is because they know it's going to be current soon. So if there's a slowdown, it'll be weeks or a month. Nothing substantial that you need to worry about.
Great. And the embassy in Chile is not like Juarez or Manila or something. So hopefully it'll be not too long after that. When I went through my my green card process, and for my son, 4 or 5 years ago, it was during COVID, and from the time that it went to the NBC that it got approved until I had the interview, it was only like 3 months in Chile. So
yeah,
and that was during COVID.
And you were an immediate relative, so it'll probably be a longer, but probably 6 months, I would think.
Cool. I know I can Google this tonight, but just quickly, can you go over what the next steps are? The
Sure.
NBC, what they're going to.
Sure. So once they turn on the lights at the NBC, you'll pay what's called the immigrant visa fee, which is $325, and the affidavit of support fee, which is $120. So it's like $445 total. And then once they get those fees, then you'll submit an online form called a DS-260. That's it's like the electronic State Department version of the I-130. You're going to provide a lot of the same information. And then you'll upload your documents and everything. So it's sort of like starting over in a way, but you'll be happy because things are moving. So you upload all that stuff, and then it takes them like 2 or 3 months to say what's called documentarily qualified, and then you're just waiting for
the appointment.
Yep.
Perfect. Oh, that's so good.
I don't know if you can see. I don't know if you can see in the comments, Mo, but everybody's cheering for you.
Oh, thank you. No, I'm not looking at the comments right now. I'll look at it tonight when I get home. I always do. I watch your shows almost every day.
Yeah.
I only call when I have a need to cry or no, I'm kidding.
We laugh because it's funny. We laugh because it's true.
That's right. No, man, I could not believe it. I'm so excited, and I just thought it was going to take months or even years from now, and then maybe it's never going to happen. My next step is
you were pretty despondent the last time I talked to you, so hopefully you and your partner, hopefully things are back on track and everything's good.
Yes. I'll still keep watching, of course, but I'll probably be hiring you for citizenship next year.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I definitely want to work with you guys because you've done so much for me and for everybody, Thanks.
Thanks, buddy. Keep us posted.
I will. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Mo. Love you. See ya. All right, that's our buddy Mo. We like good news for Mo. Good dude. You know what? I haven't been talking to TikTok. Let's see what TikTok has to say. Lady Bree says, if a sponsor or her or his spouse makes over the $35,000, do you need a couple to sponsor or to 3 years of? Okay. Clarified question. If a married American to a Nigerian makes over $35,000, do they need a co-sponsor? If it's $35,000 and they're single and they have no dependents and they've made that much for each of the last 3 years, probably won't need a co-sponsor. Laurie 75. Is USCIS processing applications to adjust status for people who came on parole from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela? I believe those cases are still on hold. I do not think the CHNV lawyers had a big victory in that they were able to beat back the Christy Nome revocation of the parole extensions, but I don't think they've gotten to the issue of adjustment yet. Amika says, I have issues with VOE. Is it mandatory? I don't know what VOE is. VOE? I think Hina sometimes puts abbreviations. I don't know what VOE is. I have issues with VOE. Is it mandatory? Anybody know what they mean? Because we have 7 months recent pay stubs. Anybody know what VOE means? I'll come back to that one. Henry K. Can a U.S. citizen marry someone who entered the U.S. with a B-1, B-2 visa, and if they marry and the U.S. citizen files for the visa holder, would the visa holder still be able to use the B-1, B-2 to travel outside the United States and return while the filing I-130 is still in process? Henry, I don't know that all the questions that you're asking demonstrate that you know how the process works. So I guess the question is, are they planning on doing consular processing or adjusting status? If they're thinking of adjusting status, they would have to apply for advanced parole and they would travel on that and wouldn't need the B-1, B-2. If they're going to do consular processing, then they need to, they probably would not be allowed back into the United States because by that point they've demonstrated immigrant intent and can't unring that bell. In other words, they wouldn't necessarily revoke the visa, but the CBP probably wouldn't let them in. If their spouse has filed an I-130, then they're no longer just a visitor on a non-immigrant visa who's promising to go home. They're now married to a U.S. citizen, and they've demonstrated immigrant intent because their spouse filed an I-130. So I think they need some more guidance before they get going. Eduardo, does my wife from Nicaragua need a waiver if she entered with parole but it expired 2 years ago and has no crimes? Eduardo, if you're a U.S. citizen and you're applying for your wife, she wouldn't need a waiver. You just need to get that shit on file. Amani says, I've been cussing too much lately. It probably means I'm stressed. Nicole says, my I-130 was approved. Our I-45 is pending. Will we actually need an interview for the 45? Well, first of all, Nicole, you need to watch my video on why did they approve my I-130 but not approve my 45? And I would say almost for sure you're going to have an interview. All right. Check this out. Rami says, hey, Jim, I don't know if you'll see this, but I just wanted to thank you for everything. My mother landed in the U.S. on Friday. Nice job, Rami. Good work. That's great. Muhammad says, Jim, can you get married and file for someone and have an age gap of 15 years? Sure thing. Sure thing. All right. Oh, Adela's here. Hello, Adela.
Hi, Jim. Can you
How are
hear
you?
me?
I can.
Okay, Jim. Oh my God, I don't know where to start, but I spoke with you last month about my waiver.
Okay.
Under Abby, I put Abby. I don't know if you remember me.
I don't remember people I talked to yesterday.
Yeah, that's understanding. Anyway, I just wanted to share, at that time that my another lawyer that I hired, that she filed for my waiver for a moral turpitude.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to share the good news with anybody that is listening. And they approved the waiver less than 2 weeks. I cannot believe it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, yes. And my lawyer sent me a message, and I could not believe it. My husband has to pinch me, and I still, and I got the green card last Monday. Yeah. I,
That's fantastic.
I don't know. This is, I think, a miracle from the dear Lord, because yeah, I put my life, in His hands,
I
and
love it.
yeah.
Must
Um,
have been a very strong waiver case.
you know what, Jim? Yeah, I the strategy of my lawyer. I think she did a combination, uh, using my mom. She's a U.S. citizen. She's in California, though. My husband, just a little bit, but he's a U.S. citizen, and my son, the one who petitioned me. Uh, she did a combination of 601A and the 601. Yeah, but I still cannot believe it. I just want to share the good news with you. Yeah. Um,
Thanks so much for sharing it. That makes me very happy.
Thank you, Jim. I know that. Yeah, you told me. Yeah. Keep us
I'm glad you're
posted.
safe. I'm glad you're safe.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yeah. Definitely.
All right, stay
And
in touch.
hopefully, this goes for anybody out there, like, because this is a critical time. I know, but um. So I have one question though, Jim.
Yeah.
Even though I asked my lawyer, I said, "Can I travel now? I have my green card in my hands," and but because this happened like almost 40 years ago, she says, "Yeah, but just carry the waiver. That they 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 waive this." Um, so what do you think? But I would like your advice, just in case.
Let me ask this question. How long has it been since you went back home?
Never, Jim.
Huh?
I, I came in 76, then I left the same year, then I came back on 1980, and I just stayed here. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I would say two things. Number one, I wouldn't leave till the end of the year because I want to see how things are going with Trump, right?
Uh-huh.
That's one thing. And two, when you travel, I'd bring your husband with you.
Yeah, that's what we planned. Yeah, Jim, that's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. Not because I've been following you, for like the past 3 months.
Yeah.
And I said, no, I still, I have some health issues that, I'm going to do surgeries right now. So I don't think that's going to be happening. Maybe at the end of the year, we'll go travel to my home country.
Great. Keep us posted, Adela. Let us know when you're going, okay? Very
Oh,
happy
okay,
for
Jim.
you.
Yes, thank you, sir. God bless.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, all right. Yassine's telling her to go now. I don't know, buddy. Um, all right. Muaz is here. Hello, Muaz.
Hello, Jim. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for all what you have been doing for the community.
Sure.
Yeah, I have question about I-131 and then I-730. Sorry. Um, I am a green holder from refugee status. I came from Sudan.
Okay.
Um, I got the travel document already, but I couldn't travel, and now it has 6 months left. Now I'm in need to travel because I want to go and see my wife. She's a little bit sick and she needs assistance. I want to go and see her, but some countries will not give a visa when you have uh, 6 or less than 6 months in your travel document. So the question is, can I renew the refugee travel document right now while the current is 6 months
Yeah.
required?
Yep.
And when I'm filing, should I send back the current one?
Not until they ask for it. Send them a copy of the one you have, and then if they want the old one back, send it to them then.
Because on the form they're asking whether you have it, and also the disposition, is it attached in my position? Which one should I choose?
I would send them a copy. I wouldn't send them the original.
All right, thank you. Also, like I want to travel to Chad. Chad is in the list of the yellow country that maybe will be banned but it's not yet. Is it risky when I travel there and come back to the United States?
It's risky, but not because you go to Chad. It's risky because I don't think any green card holders, especially those who got their green cards based on refugee status, should be leaving the United States anytime soon just because of Trump. But if you have to go because your wife is sick, I think the fact that you go to Chad isn't that big a deal.
All right, thank you. About the I-730, I filed for my wife in July 2023, and it's still pending. I didn't receive any no update. The last update was like the case was transferred to a new office, but I received a mail. That mail dated May 2024.
Yeah.
And it said that a notice of transfer to international operation in Washington, D.C. But this one was not updated in the website. And since I filed, it was 1 year and 8 months now.
Yeah. I would say that if you don't have a decision by July, if you hit that 2-year mark, then you should sue.
Okay. Okay. So, all right.
Thanks, Muaz.
Hold on. And last question. I have a son. He's in Ghana. He's under 18. What should I do? What are the process? Like, should I wait when I get my citizenship to do something about him, or should I do something right now?
So you have to be real careful about when you get your citizenship, because if you get your citizenship before your wife comes on the I-730, that can cause problems. So I don't know when you're eligible to apply. How old is your son right now?
He's 4 years.
And you haven't filed an I-730 for him?
No, because he's with his mom and he's too young. I don't want him to come right now.
You don't want him to come right now?
No, I don't want him to come right now. He's over there in Ghana with his mom.
When do you want him to come?
Before 18, maybe when he was 12.
Okay, then I would focus on your wife's case, get her here, then get your citizenship, then apply for him.
All right. All right. Thank you very much.
Bye, Muaz. See you, buddy. All right, let's go over to Nervous. Hello. Nervous, you're on mute. Hello, Nervous. They're so nervous that they didn't ask me a question. All right, let's go to Stu. Hi, Stu.
Hi, Jim. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
So, actually, I have a question about. So, I have right now green card. I have applied for removal of conditions in November 2024, and I got the biometric waiver and 4-year extension. And my husband, who is a U.S. citizen, he have a job right now in China, and he's working there since like April 2024. And I was working in US until March, and now I have decided to take a job there in China. We both are going to be there for 2 years, but we'll be traveling like every 2-3 months. That was the plan. But now, because there's so many issues, we were wondering, like, right now, I'll be in China, and I'm planning to go back in June. And I left US in March end. I left my job in March. So I was just wondering, like, if I go back and I have a job in China, even though I'm traveling within 3 months, do you think it's still going to be the problem?
So you're a U.S. citizen?
No, I am the spouse of US citizen. I have green card with 4-year extension. I have applied for the I-751.
Okay. So you have the 2-year green card. You have the 4-year extension letter. I mean, I would want you to travel as little as possible. Now, so for the first 2 years, does your spouse travel with you, or are you by yourself?
So right now I'm by myself. We'll be traveling back together in June. We are traveling for a wedding. Um, yeah, so he was already working in China, and because we were in a long distance for like since last April, which is why I decided to take the job there in China, and like we are going back and forth, meeting from US to China. So, which is
Okay.
why I decided to take the job.
What's the start date of your 2-year green? When did you become a lawful permanent resident?
I got my green card in January 2023. So it expired on January 30th, 2025, and I applied in November 1st. So of
So
2024.
during the first 2 years of your conditional residence, how much time did you and your spouse live together?
All the time. He just left last, until April 2024, we were living together. And even before that, I guess we were living together for a few years, even before that.
Okay, so when did he move to China?
April 2024.
Okay, and when did you move to China?
I am gonna go in a week.
You're in America now?
No, so I'm from India. So right now I'm in India, and I'm gonna go to China in a week. But I'm not in America right now. I realized after I left that I could have applied for re-entry permit, though, so I can still apply, I guess, when I go back in June. The only concern I have is like when I go back in June, will they ask, or will they find it problematic that I'm gonna have some work permit or some work permit on my passport from China.
It's okay to have an out of the country visa. So when you come back in June, how long will you have been outside the United States?
So I left in March 26, and I'll be back. I think I would be traveling again around 15 or 20th June.
And then once you come to America, how long are you going to stay?
Probably like 2-3 weeks, or depends on like I'm taking a new job, so I'll have to probably negotiate depending on how much I can push. But I was thinking I can apply for re-entry permit when I go there.
Yeah, but the re-entry permit takes 8 or 9 months to get back. So over the next year, how much time do you plan on spending in the United States?
So we have to again come back in September, but like we'll be traveling for like every time we come, like 3 weeks or something, 2-3 weeks.
Hold on. I only have a minute left. I need you to answer my question. After you come back in June, from June 2025 till June 2026, how much time will you be in the United States total?
Probably like 2 months or 3 months maybe.
You know you can't have any trips more than 6 months, right?
Yeah.
And you know that if you're only spending 2 out of 12 months in the United States, that's going to screw up when you can apply for citizenship, right?
Yeah. That is also true. But like that point, we can't really do anything because it's just gonna be long distance for another couple of years. So this is why I decided. I was just wondering what to do at this point.
Well, I think the bigger question is, Jim, if I'm out of the United States for 10 out of 12 months for the next 2 years, are they going to approve my 751? I think the answer might be no.
Yeah.
Be no. Because we have to remember, the name of the card is permanent residence, not coming back every 5 months to stay for a week or two. That shit's over. They're not going to go for that much longer.
Yeah. So if we apply for re-entry permit in June, do you think that would help? Like, how does that process work?
Well,
like if I apply?
It doesn't sound like you're going to stay till it comes. I think they're going to start making life more difficult for you. I think they're going to screw around with your entry permit. They're going to screw around with your 751. And I think they're going to screw around with you when you keep coming and going to the United States.
Oh.
I don't think, from an immigration standpoint, this isn't a good plan.
Yeah. But then on the other hand, like if he's gonna be away for 2 years, will that also look bad on my application? So like I don't know which one works better.
I got to go, Stu. I got to get to my next meeting.
Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. That'll do it for today's show. Let's see about tomorrow. Oh, this says I don't have any internet. What's that all about? How can I not have internet if I'm talking to all y'all? Tomorrow's show will be at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock Central tomorrow. 2 o'clock. We'll be back tomorrow. I have a hearing tomorrow in federal court at 9 a.m. on our first F1 visa revocation. So I'm excited about that. I did see some good news here. I wanted to spread along. Somebody became a citizen. Welcome to all the new people who have joined. We'll be back tomorrow. The best thing to do is to text the word show to 314-470-3300. You can get into the waiting room first, and you'll be the first ones in there. It fills up really fast now when Hina sends out the number, the link to the show. So if you text the word SHOW to 314-470-3300, you'll get the link to tomorrow's show, and we'll send it out tomorrow morning. Here's the news. Hit the bid. Hey, Jim, I passed my N400 interview last week. Oath ceremony on the 15th of May. Thank you for everything you do, and you can add me to the list. For those of you who don't know, we have a goal of helping 10,000 people become U.S. citizens by the end of 2030. And Hit the Bid just said that I could add them. Dewey said earlier the week that I could add her. So we're getting along. I hope you all have a great night. Thanks, everybody on TikTok. We'll be back tomorrow, like I said. Thanks, Hina. And have a good night, everybody. I'm great about that, other than trying to help people who are